Have you ever felt, well, just stuck, caught in the loop maybe? You see other people seemingly moving forward, thriving even, while you feel kind of tethered, maybe to past stuff or worries about what's next.
It happens to almost everyone, I think.
Right. And we usually chalk it up to, bad luck, or maybe we think we're not talented enough or just not putting in the hours.
Sure, the usual suspects.
But today, we're diving into this really powerful idea from our source material: mastering focus, ignite your future, escape the past. And it suggests the real reason might be something much more fundamental. Okay, let's unpack this a bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So at its core, the idea is about focus. Simple, but incredibly potent. Our source puts it like this: what you focus on expands.
Like a magnifying glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of your attention like that magnifying glass. Shine it on what you think is wrong or missing, and guess what? You'll just find more proof of that. It gets bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But if you deliberately point that lens at what is working, the opportunities, what you actually have, suddenly new possibilities start to light up.
Right. It's not a neutral act.
Not at all. It can either burn a hole right through your dreams or, well, it could be the spark that ignites your future.
Yeah.
The tricky part is, most of us, without even realizing it, we're aiming that magnifying glass in ways that just make life feel heavier than it needs to be.
And what's often missed here is just how universal this challenge is. It cuts across everything. But what's great about our source material is how precisely it tackles it. It really debunks some common myths about our attention.
Okay.
So this deep dive, it isn't just about, concentrating harder. It's about the fundamental direction of your life's energy. We're going to explore some maybe less obvious, but really powerful principles about focus.
And crucially,
yeah, we'll give you some actionable ways to sort of recalibrate your focus before it potentially undermines your chances at happiness, at success. These are real practical shifts you can start making, well, today, really.
That's a great way to frame it. So let's
Yeah.
jump right in. The first critical shift the source talks about is moving from loss to loyalty. Specifically, it's about this idea: stop obsessing over who left. Start valuing who stayed. We all know that feeling, right?
Mm.
When someone leaves a friend, a partner, maybe a colleague walks away, it stings.
Oh, absolutely. It's a deep human pain, abandonment.
And our minds just lock onto it, don't they? We replay the leaving, the betrayal maybe. We question ourselves. It's a really painful loop to get stuck in.
It is.
But here's where it gets really interesting, according to the source. This obsession, this focus on who left, it often completely blinds us to the incredible value of the people who chose to stay.
That's such a key point.
For every person who walked out, there are usually others who consciously, consistently, loyally show up. The friend who always answers the phone, the family who keeps believing in you, the coworker who has your back.
Yeah, but their presence gets overshadowed by the drama of the exit, doesn't it?
Probably overshadowed.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, fixating on the deserters, well, it just magnifies the pain. It can turn a moment of sadness into something really prolonged, like resentment.
Right.
But if you flip that, if you intentionally focus on the loyal people, that multiplies your strength, both emotionally and practically. History gives us some great examples.
Like who?
Well, think about Steve Jobs. After he got fired from Apple, famously, a lot of people deserted him, big time.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the small core group who stayed loyal, they were absolutely instrumental in building NXT and Pixar. And those were the platforms that paved the way for his huge comeback to Apple later on.
Wow, okay.
Or think about Oprah Winfrey. Early days, rejected by TV networks left and right, but her small team, the ones who really believed in her vision, they helped build that incredible empire. So it really brings up an important question for you listening right now. Are you really seeing, truly acknowledging the friends, the family, the colleagues who keep showing up, who keep investing in you?
That's a powerful question. And it makes you think, how often do we actually pause and appreciate that loyalty, that consistency? It flows so nicely into the second shift, too.
It does.
This idea of reframing what we do have, it's about moving from scarcity to gratitude. Or, like the source says, stop crying over what's missing. Start celebrating what you have.
The classic human paradox.
It really is bizarre, isn't it? You could have, say, 90 blessings right in front of you, but your mind will just zero in on that one thing that's missing.
Always.
And that's why, as the source points out, you can have millionaires who are utterly miserable because they're missing that inner peace, that contentment that comes from appreciating what is rather than what isn't.
Yeah, the focus is all wrong.
And this toxic focus on what's missing, It just creates this illusion of emptiness. And nowadays, oh boy, social media just pours gasoline on that fire, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The comparison trap.
You scroll, you see someone else's perfect-looking life, their highlight reel, and suddenly everything you have just feels not enough. We all fall into that, I think.
We do. And here's the kicker, the sort of shocking truth here. Scarcity isn't actually in your life. It's in your mind. It's a construct.
Okay, unpack that a bit. Is that just positive thinking?
Well, it sounds like it, but there's actually solid neuroscience behind it. What's really fascinating is that practicing gratitude consistently, it doesn't just feel nice. It literally starts to rewire your brain.
How so?
It boosts the production of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Those are, the chemicals linked to happiness, motivation, feeling good, feeling stable.
Right.
Our source mentioned studies where people who just journaled say 3 specific things they were grateful for each day showed real, measurable benefits. Less stress, sleeping better, even stronger immune responses.
Wow. Just from listing 3 things.
Yep. So instead of dwelling on what's not there, try consciously counting what is, your body maybe, the roof over your head, the knowledge you've picked up along the way, the people who actually care about you. Focus on those things, and that feeling, that illusion of lack, it often just starts to fade. You realize, hang on, I was already rich in ways I wasn't even counting.
That idea of rewiring the brain through gratitude, that's incredibly powerful. It gives you agency.
Exactly.
But it also makes me think, our minds get stuck elsewhere too, don't they?
Yeah.
Like in the past, even when we know it's not helping us. Which brings us to shift number 3, from the past to the future.
Ah, yes, the past.
The source urges us, stop living in the past. Start anticipating the future. And there's such a pull, isn't there? The past has this magnetic quality. Good memory, sure, but also those regrets, those endless what-ifs.
Oh, the what-ifs can be killers.
You really can. We just replay stuff over and over, wishing we'd done something different. But here's the brutal fact from the source. The past is a thief. It steals your present moment, and it strangles your future potential.
That's strong language, but it's true.
Every minute you spend reliving yesterday is literally a minute you cannot use to build tomorrow, to experience something new. It's not just stagnation. It actively diminishes what's possible ahead.
And neurologically, the impact is pretty significant. Your brain, well, it often doesn't make a huge distinction between vividly remembering a past trauma and actually experiencing something stressful right now. Yeah. It can react similarly, releasing stress hormones like cortisol, as if the pain is happening all over again. That's why getting stuck in the past feels so draining. You're basically reliving the stress.
Okay, that explains a lot.
But contrast that with focusing on the future. Our source talks about how this ignites hope through something called anticipatory dopamine release.
Anticipatory dopamine.
Yeah, it basically means your brain starts rewarding you with motivation before you even achieve the goal, just by vividly imagining a positive future outcome. It primes you for success.
So you get a little hit just for thinking positively about the future.
In a way, yes. It builds momentum. And history, again, shows us clear examples. Think of Kodak.
Oh yeah, big example.
Totally obsessed with their past glory in film photography. They just refuse to really embrace digital, even though they invented the first digital camera.
Crazy, right?
And the future just blew right past them. Then you have Netflix. From the very beginning, they were laser focused on what was coming streaming. And that foresight, it let them completely dominate.
Huge difference.
So the choice really is yours, isn't it? Are you going to be chained to the ghosts of yesterday, or are you going to let yourself be driven by visions of tomorrow?
Chained to ghosts or driven by visions, that really puts it starkly. But, sometimes those past experiences, they leave real pain. And moving past that pain feels impossible sometimes.
Absolutely. Pain is real.
Which brings us to our 4th shift. From pain to progress. The idea is stop marinating in pain. Start pursuing the reward. And we have to start by acknowledging, yes, pain is real. Heartbreak, failure, loss, it hurts deeply. No one's denying that.
No, absolutely not.
But the source points out something crucial. Pain is only half the story. There's another half, and that's the potential reward, the growth, the learning on the other side of the pain.
Right.
But so many people just freeze in the pain. They feel the sting and they stop moving. They never walk far enough to actually collect the prize that often waits beyond the struggle. It makes me think about, working out, lifting weights. It burns, right? Your muscles ache. It's uncomfortable. It's pain.
Definitely feels like pain.
But that feeling, that discomfort, is the proof of progress. It's the signal your muscles are adapting, getting stronger. If there's no discomfort, there's no growth.
That's a perfect analogy.
And it feels like it's the same in life. Almost every big breakthrough, every significant achievement, it's usually wrapped in some kind of difficulty or pain. It's a signal, maybe, not a stop sign, if we choose to see it that way.
That's exactly it. And what's fascinating, or maybe frustrating, is that our brains are actually wired to exaggerate pain and negativity.
How so?
Well, psychologists call it the negativity bias. It's our built-in tendency to remember insults much more clearly than compliments, right? To dwell on losses way longer than wins, to recall painful moments more readily than joyful ones.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Why do we do that?
Evolutionarily, it makes sense. Being hyper-aware of threats, dangers, past pains that kept our ancestors alive, it was a survival mechanism.
Okay.
But now, in our relatively safer modern world, that same bias can trap us. It keeps us stuck in misery, replaying the negative stuff over and over.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is reframing. Look at champions, leaders, successful people. They aren't immune to pain or failure. Not at all. They just reframe it. They see it as fuel.
Fuel?
Yeah. Michael Jordan is a classic example. He famously talked about using every failure, every time he was cut from a team, as motivation, as fuel to work harder, get better.
Right. He turned it into drive.
Exactly. Or Thomas Edison with the light bulb. Thousands of experiments didn't work. He didn't see them as failures. He reframed them as finding thousands of ways not to make a light bulb. Steps towards success.
Ah, okay. So the pain is temporary.
The pain is often temporary, yes, but the reward you get from pushing through it, the growth, the learning, that can be permanent and transformative. It really comes down to which one gets your focus, the temporary pain or the potential permanent reward.
Reframing pain as fuel. That is a definite game changer, which kind of leads us perfectly into the last shift, number 5. From fear to faith and success.
The big one, fear.
Yeah. The source says, stop imagining what could go wrong. Start believing what will go right. And fear. Gosh, it feels like the oldest prison humans have, doesn't it?
It really does.
It stops so many people from taking risks, from pursuing dreams, because their minds just scream, what if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if I lose everything? It's just paralyzing.
That internal monologue of doom.
Totally. And here's a stat from the source that just blew my mind. 90% of the things we worry about never actually happen.
90%. Think about that.
It's staggering. Our brains are basically disaster movie generators, inventing catastrophes that will likely never occur. And we waste so much energy, so much life force, preparing for these non-existent threats.
It's an incredible drain, and this is precisely where the difference lies between those who stay stuck and those who, well, fly.
How so?
The successful ones, the innovators, the brave ones, they focus intensely on what could go right. They see the opportunity where others just see the risk, the threat.
So it's not that the risks are smaller for them.
Not necessarily, no. They dare to launch the business, chase the crazy dream, speak up when it's easier to stay silent. They win not because the risks were less, but because their focus on the potential upside was stronger.
Okay, give us an example.
The classic, perfect example is the Wright brothers. Think about it. At that time, the idea of humans flying, people laughed. It was considered impossible, dangerous.
Right.
Crazy idea.
Yeah.
Everyone was asking, what if it crashes? What if you die? That was the dominant focus. But the Wright brothers, they asked a different question. They asked, what if it flies?
Ah, what if it flies?
That single question, that shift in focus from the fear of crashing to the possibility of flight, it literally changed the course of human history. Forever.
Wow.
So it brings up that critical point again for you, the listener. Your focus is actively creating your future reality. If you keep staring down at the cliff edge, at the potential fall, you're probably going to freeze.
Yeah, makes sense.
But if you fix your eyes on the wings, on the possibility of soaring, well, then you give yourself the chance to actually take flight.
Soaring or freezing. It really does boil down to where you point that magnifying glass, doesn't it? Okay, let's try and tie all these powerful shifts together now.
Let's do it.
Here's something that I think many people don't fully get, and it's a core message from the source material. Your focus isn't just a passive thing happening in your head. It is actively, right now, either killing or creating your destiny. Every single day.
That's the bottom line.
Think about the direct results we've talked about. Focus on betrayal. You'll feel bitter. Focus on gratitude. You'll feel abundance. Focus on the past. You'll stay stuck, broken maybe. Focus on the future. You'll move forward.
Right.
Focus on the pain. You'll suffer. Focus on the reward, the progress. You'll find the strength to endure. Focus on failure. You'll freeze up. Focus on success. You'll find the courage to try again.
It's cause and effect, really clearly laid out.
Exactly. It's not just philosophy. Your life right now is essentially the sum total of what you repeatedly choose to focus on. Focus isn't harmless. It's probably the most powerful weapon you own.
Yeah. And the tragedy is, as you said earlier, so many of us are unintentionally aiming that weapon right back at ourselves.
Without even realizing.
Exactly. But the really good news, the empowering part, is that you absolutely have the ability to shift that, to fix your focus, starting right now.
Okay, so how do we do that, practically speaking?
Well, our source gives some really concrete, actionable steps, things you can start doing today. First, an awareness audit.
Okay, what's that?
Just take a few minutes, maybe grab a piece of paper, and think about the last week. What were your dominant thoughts, honestly? Were they mostly about loss, lack, regret, pain, fear? Identifying those patterns is the first step to seeing the prison your mind might be building.
Right, you have to see the pattern first. Makes sense. What's next?
Second, start a gratitude ritual.
Yeah.
Every morning, maybe before you even get out of bed or while you have your coffee, list 5 specific things you're genuinely grateful for. Doesn't have to be huge things, just 5 specific things. This is about actively training, rewiring your brain towards seeing the good.
5 things. Okay, doable. Number 3.
Third, future visualization. Spend maybe just 10 minutes each day vividly imagining where you want to be in, say, 1 year. Don't just think about it. Really try to feel it. See it, hear it, make it as real as possible in your mind. Your brain will start chasing that vision.
So really immerse yourself in that future picture.
Exactly. Fourth, reframe pain. Catch yourself when you think or say, this hurts or this is awful, and consciously try replacing it with, this is progress or this is me getting stronger. Just notice how that simple language shift changes your energy.
That's powerful, just changing the words. Okay, and the last one.
Fifth, flip fear. When your brain inevitably asks that question, what if it fails? What if it goes wrong? Immediately, consciously counter it. Ask yourself, but what if it works? What if it goes right? What if it's amazing? Redirect that mental energy from disaster to possibility.
Okay, audit, gratitude, visualize, reframe, flip.
That's it. And if we connect this back, these aren't just, nice little suggestions. These are powerful, brain-changing practices. They can fundamentally shift how you experience your life by giving you control over where your most valuable asset, your focus, is directed.
It's incredibly practical advice. Really empowering. So as we bring this deep dive to a close, let's just land on this really profound final thought from our source. Your life is not ruined by circumstances, by other people, or by bad luck. It's ruined or rescued by focus. Think about anyone you admire who's achieved something significant, anyone who's overcome adversity. They all faced heartbreak. They all faced moments of emptiness. They definitely faced fear.
Guaranteed.
The difference, the thing that set them apart, was that they learned to consciously, deliberately fix their focus. They chose where to aim that magnifying glass.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. The next time your mind starts that downward spiral into loss or lack or gets paralyzed by fear, just remember this powerful truth we've unpacked today. You are literally just one single shift of focus away from a completely different experience, a completely different life. The question is, what one shift will you choose to make today?